to counter the bat, but do you like the pick?
No, I do. Like, we were discussing the draft, and Storm looked like a normal answer to all of their heroes. Specifically the bat, I would say, right? The lane versus bat isn't easy for most heroes, and Storm, Quap, maybe a few others actually should do well against him, so they grab themselves a Storm. And then when you look at the lineup of T1, later on you have Lasso, but everything else is kind of easy for Storm to deal with, right? Like, smartly spot, you can just blow lightning as long as you have enough mana. Denying the ward. Oh,
yep.
Got him.
They saw it get planted, and they did end up getting the deny.
Yeah, now they need to de-ward as well this one, and perfect start for T1. But
30 seconds to back.
You told me that they play a lot of 23savage Kunkka. Well, a few Kunkka games at least in that carry room. Do you like it?
I like Kunkka as a hero because you can flex it early on. I think seeing the Beastmaster pick, you generally want to have something that's not going to get overrun. Like, there's a few heroes that seem to be good against the Beast. If you can get the Ench support, Kunkka carry, the PA has looked pretty good. So I think given the Beastmaster pick, I do like it this game.
The battle begins.
Yep. Do you think that there may be on the side of T1 on a little bit of a timer at least? Like,
yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Your future is...
And they're even picking a lot of these heroes for this lane. I see CM Tree, and at least to me, I don't know if you agree, these seem more like these more early game supports.
Oh yeah, I agree completely. I love Treant. I feel that this hero is underrated. Like, there's so many different, well, not too many different builds, but you can definitely make him do wonders in the laning stage with maxing out Nature's Grasp and Leech Seed. But yeah, together with the Crystal Maiden, feel more like 2 5s than a real 4 on their side.
See how these 5s do. Whitemon is the CM specialist, the 6 mangoes. I'm just going to spam you for days whenever possible. Use those Novas to harass, to kill boars. I'm going to make Boom's life a little bit more difficult up here on the top.
Yeah, the plan is just to kill off all the boards, right? To dish out as much damage to them, to make that Kunkka perhaps finish them off with the Tidebringer.
Courier snipes from Skem. Some pesky stuff to make this lane a little bit more difficult, and it is, return of this OD. It didn't look too good in the last series. Fnatic were able to come up with some answers for it, but OD as a whole has looked, very good across all regions, being one of the more popular heroes. Do you feel like they've got the heroes to deal with an OD down here?
Yeah, I feel that they do. I think that PA is one of the better heroes. All of these heroes that can get on top of you easily are usually good versus OD. So PA is one of those. You are playing worse. There you go. You see, like, the amount of damage that they're able to dish out is huge. The only problem is they don't have level 2 on Scam. Once they get that Inkswell, then it becomes even more difficult.
Okay. See if this lane is potential for Boom to find themselves in the early kills, first bloods or the likes. But it's mid lane where we have to keep our eyes a little bit, because these two heroes are going to be up in each other's faces. Yopaj happy to fight with the sticky napalm charges on him because he's getting so much sustain from this first item Magic Wand. Well, is thinking about a chase. Has a Flame Break. Is Carl going for this one? 8 sticky charges. Gets the Flame Break. Pulls him into the tower. Who's going to get this kill first? Pops a Fairy Fire. One more right click. Carl goes down. First blood, Yopaj. We asked the question, who's thinking of the mid lane? And for now, it's Yopaj.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that he went for that. Like, this is literally why you pick Storm into a Bat Rider, because you cannot dive the Storm Spirit. If you dive him 9 out of 10 times, that's gonna happen. So, yeah, he definitely tried to push the limit a little bit there and got punished for that.
Well, they're also perhaps trying to punish down bottom lane, keeping Cuckoo out of this bottom lane. Whenever they can get that little jump, get some harass off, the blink in with the Inkswell. Until that OD gets a Meteor Hammer, it feels like this lane could be a little bit of a struggle.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah, it comes down to the tree as well, how close he is with the Leech Seed. You have to be careful, because if you do go on the OD and then he escapes with something like Astral Imprisonment, they can turn on you. Like Leech Seed level 2 or Nature's Grasp level 2. It's a lot of damage that can be dished out by T1.
Carl comes back mid, gets 10 stickies on Yopaj, but doesn't find any opening to flame break, which means Yopaj is just getting free one charges here. It's kind of free regen for him. His lane going great, but elsewhere it's top lane where the FBZ gets the kill onto Whitemon, so find the opening there with Tim's initiation.
Nice one. Level 3 on the Beastmaster. The moment you get that, level 2 boars, the slow becomes kind of difficult for a Crystal Maiden to deal with. She's tipping mid though.
Mid. Yep, they think they've got the kill on the Storm, and it sure as hell looks like it, but Yopaj just going to look to turn and fight. Can he bring down the Batrider with him? He doesn't get a second Remnant off in time, so they get the kill. Tims will deny the rune top, but there is a rune waiting bottom for Carl. Nice rotation from Whitemon.
Yeah, really nice. Even the fact that he TP'd straight into the lane, so Storm could see it, but he couldn't really react to it. That's why they're with the perfect flame break.
Yep. Carl has been using this flame break to get hit. That's why they can just TP in plain sight, because Carl will push you out of position, and the CM a great crew to follow it up with a Crystal Nova.
Yeah, and when you think about the safe lane, it's a Kunkka, right? So Crystal Maiden should, like, you can abandon your carry if he's a Kunkka. Like, he's not gonna get owned.
This'll come in handy.
Good news for T1 using the early game strength of this CM to help shore up what was initially a bad lane. Like, Carl was getting bested by Yopaj, the solo kill, and even just the outfarm and the CS advantage heavily favoring the Storm Spirit. So do you feel like they're gonna have to keep rotating to deal with Yopaj, or is this game going better already for Carl?
I think you rescued Carl's lane, and this is the time to rotate. Whitemon is in, because Yopaj is about to get level 6. Once he gets that 6, like, rotations become kind of impossible. So yeah, this is it. Like, he got it. Now I don't know how you kill him any longer. Yopaj really has to do something very aggressive for him to die here.
Yeah, if he dives, uses up his mana, which, it is Yopaj. This guy loves to make those aggressive moves, and any chance he gets to go for a kill, he's often going to take it. So I think
Carl right now, he needs to start spamming those tips or waves.
Yeah. Just try and get in his head, make him think, okay, I want to kill this guy. And they are, Whitemon's just sitting behind this tower, trying to wait for an opening to go in. It is 6 minutes though, and both mid laners are waiting for that rune to spawn. And it will be a haste spawning up top, so Yopaj able to grab himself nice little power rune.
Rubik was the luckier one when it comes to checking out which rune is gonna spawn, and yeah, all of the supports are literally just playing around mid lane. Okay, Zephyr now leaves, goes down bottom a little bit. I feel like Cuckoo perhaps is the happiest out of all of this, because his lane as an offlaner wasn't that easy, and now he's getting a bit more space.
Do you love me?
Astral down bottom, but no real follow-up, so both teams happy to kind of poke and prod here. It feels like moves are going to happen though when these offliners get their items. The Meteor Hammer and the Helm, which has now come out for FBZ. These are the items which feel like they enable that pressure onto the offlane tower. So unlike last game where like no towers dropped at 15 minutes, there seems probably be a bit more focus on taking objectives early this game.
Yeah, for sure. Especially Boom with the Beastmaster, right? His whole game plan literally is to take down objectives early on, use that road for a pick-off, and then continue taking objectives. So something similar on the other side, like you said, Cuckoo. With the Meteor Hammer, it kind of depends though if the rotations happen from the Storm Spirit, because he can get punished here. It's like OD, when you're picking him on offlane, I feel like you really need to have a proper setup around him to prevent any aggression. Okay, Zephyr and Scam. Scam a bit deep here.
They get the slow to start things off, but Storm is showing up with an Inkswell. They go into Cuckoo, who gets stunned up, but Yopaj doesn't want to follow it up, and if anything, it's T1 who they'll bring numbers, make sure that they can kind of secure their own jungle stacks.
Just not enough damage. 950 HP, 7 armor, like...
Yopaj gets off the... That was nice. Using the Vortex there. Carl was about to lasso him after the Frostbite ended, but Yopaj stopped it with the Vortex. Smart play.
He's really on point with all of these spirits. I've seen him so many times do something like that, right? With that one moment of clarity when he's about to die to save himself with some sick play.
Yeah. Most mid laners there, I feel like, just dying. He's going to look to turn it around. Zips in with the Inkswell. Does he have the damage here? The Treant trying to keep him alive with the living armor, and the pig pole away. Carl will survive through it. Not enough damage again. This seems to be a bit of a recurring theme for Boom, is just lacking a bit of damage output.
Yeah, I feel that perhaps Storm needs to be the one that rotates, and they shouldn't be rotating around Storm. Because if he does that, then you'll have two cores at the same spot, right? Like maybe a Beastmaster Roar plus the Storm. You can take off, you can perhaps even kill the Kunkka. Or if he rotates bottom with a PA, maybe you can kill the OD. But just the Storm and Grimstroke, I don't think that's happening.
Is that something that's going to persist throughout this kind of early to mid game? Is this like like not having enough damage? Like, are they going to be relying on a farm PA to kind of carry them later on, or are they? Is that problem going to solve itself with some more levels?
Well, they don't necessarily have these big nukes, right? Like heroes that, well, like a Snapfire that brings that. But if they bring the numbers, they should have enough damage. Like on the top lane, we can see exactly that happening. Storm is rotating in. Yeah. You have that roar.
T1 maybe don't just want to let this one go with an armlet Kunkka. They've got some pushing power. They X back in. Whitemon doesn't get the frostbite off in time, so will be Boom's being pushed back, and Yopaj seeing the Kunkka and the defense of this top lane is just going to TP out of there. So Boom is just back to farming. They say, no, we can't do it. Sorry, Beastmaster.
It's alright because you forced 4 men to rotate. At the same time, Grimstroke, not only was he defending mid and getting farm, he was at the same time making a big stack in the Radiant jungle, and that's what this drawing is about. Now Yopaj goes there, probably farms it. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stack. I haven't seen a big camp like this one in a long time. On this spot, at least.
Yeah, it's usually it's over in the triangle, so perhaps intentional by Boom, making sure that, you know, they don't stack in the obvious places and Batrider comes in, or Kunkka, to kind of steal all that money. So nice little pick-me-up for Yopaj, who was doing just fine. It's the Kunkka who's kind of stormed ahead in terms of net worth. 23savage at this top lane just feels like this impenetrable force that's just keeping this top tier 1 tower alive.
Yeah, and they were making some stacks for himself as well. There's this trick with Kunkka in which you stack the medium camp and the small camp, and then he just cleaves through them, which is, I believe, what they were doing in this game. So, telling him on that number 1 network spot.
Backing up.
Stomp.
Are Boom okay with this game, like, slowing down? Because usually Beastmaster drafts want to kind of push the tempo, but given that they've got this PA Storm, does this game kind of go okay for them at a slower pace?
Yeah, I believe that's the case. Like, usually, like you said, I completely agree with everything. I'm just gonna shut up now for 1 minute in order to just...
I'm asking. I'm not sure.
No, I think that you're right. Like, you have this PA. She's not truly a hero until she has, like, a BKB Battle Fury. There's a move on Carl. Yep, that was the smoke.
With the Tim's Rubik, and Carl gets picked off going for some jungle farm. Can they punish this though? Yopaj needs to get out. The X has caught him. The ghost ship follow-up. He's going to get pulled back in just a second. He tries to ball lightning, but it's not going to work. Does get it off the X. He's out of mana here, but can T1 catch up to him? Yopaj is still alive for now, and it looks like Tim's is willing to kind of throw away his life if it means his Storm surviving. And they may not even get the Rubik here. They do manage to finally catch up to him with the X. I'll pull him back in for a torrent, so Tim's the sacrificial lamb to keep Yopaj alive.
Yeah, really nicely played by him over there. If you're Boom, you're extremely satisfied with what just occurred. Like, you killed the OD, at the same time Yopaj survives. Grimstroke.
Down by Carl, so nice little quick kill for him. Both mid laners kind of getting aggressive early on. Yopaj invading enemy triangle, Batrider making some solo kills.
Stupendous!
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, overall, I think that Boom is okay with this. While all that was happening, the top tier 1 tower as well got taken out. So, if you're Boom, you're fine. PA is farming, you're getting some space on the map. It's important to take down some towers early on because you're playing into a tree as well. So, Scam.
TP bottom. They want to defend this tower. Scam got scouted by the Treant Protector as he
Structures are fortified.
TP'd in though, and that may be...
It's just that,
Yeah. They're TPing in more though. They want to defend this. Goes for a soulbind. Is the follow-up going to be there?
Cannot be.
Yopaj has made his TP down here with multiple other heroes making their move as well. Beastmaster on the front lines gets the roar to start things off. That's on the Kunkka. Have they got the damage for this one with the overgrowth? Storm gets locked in place as well. This is not looking good for Boom. They haven't got the numbers here. It's a 5-man T1 push down bottom, and they kill 3, looking for 4. Looks like Tims is going to take a spill, and it's only up to Yopaj to get out of this one. He's got plenty of mana to ball lightning away, as long as he doesn't get too greedy.
yeah,
Radiant's
Parker,
bottom tower
I
is
don't
under
know, man.
Not a fan of what just happened.
Yeah, I'm really not a big fan of what Boom just did. Like, TPing in like that to defend the tower when your hero has already fallen, you know that most of them are around, they're taking it right, they're pressuring the tower. Like, even if you defend it, which could be alright for you, but even if that happens, why? Like, your whole map is literally open for Beastmaster, for Storm, for PA to farm up. It's like this is one of the hardest towers to defend anyway. Yopaj goes in.
They got the Astral off though, so Ink 12 not going to land, and Yopaj will have to back off. Cuckoo, even trying to chase him with the tumbler toy.
I literally thought that they were gonna just sack Grimstroke and that's it. Like, Scam, he's a position 5 Grim, that's his job. Go down there and try to delay the push a little bit, right? PA top lane.
Yeah, this is a big kill if they can get it. Boom need to rotate supports quick because Carl is showing up, and with the lasso they've got more than enough damage to get this kill. T1 are just making all the right moves, and perhaps part of that is, as you've kind of been touching on, is that Boom also maybe walking into them and making the wrong moves.
I truly feel that right now the positioning on the map from Boom is not correct. They had a couple of really nice plays. The last one was the pick off on the Batrider, but ever since then, like, they haven't utilized the free farm and free space on the map that they've been given by T1, that they made for themselves, that is.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And now it's completely in T1's hands. Look at this, they're pressuring down bottom, took out the tower, now they're down mid.
Yeah, with this Batrider having a blink dagger, they've got that catch that can cause all kinds of problems for Boom if they want to defend these towers. They do find the ward behind the mid tier 1, so makes this defense a little bit better for them, but it's still so hard to get in there. The creeps are just dealing with the tower, and meanwhile the Beastmaster, they get the roar off to start this fight. They're going to look to bring down the Batrider. He gets helped out by the Astral. It's keeping him alive a little bit longer as the Ghost Ship kind of fly on and over, keeping him alive with a living armor a bit longer, but the Storm finishes off the kill. Yopaj dives in deep, just needs to get out with enough mana. Keeping on over is the Crystal Maiden. Whitemon thought he could maybe punish Yopaj being low on mana, but didn't.
This'll come in handy.
TP in time.
Yeah, Cuckoo wasn't really that close, so he wasn't able to save the Batrider a little bit sooner. Like, if that Astral comes in a little bit sooner, I'm sure that they could at least save the Batrider, but yeah, this way they lose their mid laner. They do take down the tier 1 tower in the mid lane, so not all is bad for them, but could have been better. Meanwhile, Boom, they get a fresh breath of fresh air, as Tino did complete that Battle Fury, so he can get that bonus farm now for himself.
Yeah. And something I think you said coming into this game out of the draft is that, to a certain extent, maybe T1 on a bit of a timer against the late game PA and Storm. Where does that, like, as far as that timer goes, how soon do they need to be making those big moves to take towers, take Roshan, etc.?
I feel like they need to be doing it all the time. The more you punish Boom early on, the better you'll be set to fight off PA once she gets her big items. So you want to make as big of a gap in net worth as you can before that happens.
Point. Neck and neck, only a less than 1k gold lead for T1 there. Trying to make their next couple of plays here. This Kunkka is very far ahead of all the other cores in this game. So even though the gold is close between the two teams, Kunkka is one where they've invested a lot of resources.
Yeah, he's the one that carries pretty much everything, right? Storm zipping in.
Carl did manage to blink in the ball of the rune just in time. I think they maybe realized what the Storm was up to there when they made sure they grabbed that rune before the Storm could.
Top lane.
Top lane, yep, Astro on the Savage. He gets off the go chip here just to give himself some run buff. But getting away is Tim's for now. X-Back is going to pull him in a little bit closer, but the Soulbind leak is there, and with the double silence, they're going to turn double roar as well. Have they got the damage to kill this Kunkka? The Storm zipping in, the pull to follow this one up, but the Overgrowth may keep Savage alive a little bit longer, has the armor as well as in that defensive Astro keep him alive. Nice lasso counter initiation from Carl, and they're going to punish Yopaj for his aggression. 23savage gets bailed out by the saves, and they're not done. They're chasing, they're hunting. They smell Boom heroes, and they want to hunt them down and slice them up. Rubik TP's out just in time, but FBZ, he's out of there. So they feel like the Storm and the Grimstroke.
I feel like FBZ, that whole fight wasn't showing his face. He was just hiding in the trees, using his roar once, and that's pretty much about it. You can see just how much sustain they've got on side of T1 because of the Treant armor, obviously, that's maxed out. The run buff as well is there, so it's not easy to take down these heroes. You really need these gotcha moments where Storm zips in with the Inkswell and finishes off a target before they can react. If you don't do that, you just don't have kill potential.
Maybe it would have worked if this Kunkka wasn't so damn farmed. The fact he was level 15, I think, for that fight, now level 16. Yep. With all these items sitting on like 3,000 health with this armlet toggled on, it is a hard kill for Boom to get.
He's a rough cookie, tough cookie to break.
T1 together a bit of a bigger gold lead here. Grabbing the rune is 23savage, knowing that he can't really be gone on. The Batrider's kind of not going for these runes because he knows he's much more vulnerable, but they're going to smoke up with this double damage and look to invade Boom's triangle here. Right into Yopaj. Does he get caught by anything? The Blink Lasso catches him before he can respond. The follow-up Overgrowth should be enough to bring him down, and Boom may lose a second here with the Astral Meteor Hammer crashing in onto Skem's Grimstroke. That's going to be 2 quick kills for T1. And you said it, Roche.
Yep, I feel like they just go straight in. T1 again. Like I can see like their eagerness to kill off the Storm. So Carl jumps in, forces the Storm Spirit away, but 23savage at the same time X marks the spot in. So I felt that there's even a chance for Storm to survive there if all the stars align for him. Sadly for Carl, it doesn't happen.
This is not the easiest of Roche. It's taking a little bit of time, but without the Storm, they can't really make any big plays to stop it from happening.
Back to full.
Nice defensive Astral, going to stop the Tim's X from pulling somebody back in. Haven't seen quite the Rubik impact would maybe hope. I think the panel touched on game 1. His Rubik presence wasn't making those big steals and big plays. Down bottom, Tina in some trouble. Carl has kind of found him farming in the jungle. Storm zipping in from afar. But Carl 4 stamps away, gets himself back to Whitemon. CM who's going to go for a freezing field with the Frostbite. Yopaj needs to either ball in or out. He gets the Vortex to cancel the freezing field, so
in the back
he keeps himself alive. But yeah, in the backlines, they've lost the support again. Grimstroke, Skem just so hard to play into this T1 draft. They have so much catch and so many different ways of punishing him.
It feels that the team that has Storm is always the one being a little bit too aggressive. Like Storm Spirit notices a target and just completely goes. Not everyone has ball lightning, man. Chill out.
Is under attack.
Wait a bit for the teammates. Yopaj goes in. There's that region. Kunkka doesn't have that Blink Dagger.
For a torrent, but not going to land. Kunkka, yeah, doesn't have the blink, but what he has got is an Aghanim Scepter, so getting that extra charge of Astro and Prism, and that means he can use, can use it offensively and defensively in these fights if he wants to.
I feel that most of the time you want to use it on the target that gets roared, so FPC. There's a sentry.
Look into the right one leading the way. They get the roar to start things off on the Kunkka, but with the 2-hero Overgrowth, Boom, this is, they're outnumbered here. There's just no chance to fight their way through this one.
Your sails for good.
White one gets low, but
pretty much. They are reaching that point in the game in which Tino can start joining teamfights. So he has BKB, he has that Dark Fury. From this point onwards, he might join a fight or two. But at this point, you're playing into an Aegis, so I guess the best way is to just wait for it to run out and fight afterwards.
Is there ways that T1 can itemize to
Radiant's
kind
top
of
tower is under attack.
prevent this PA from like being this big scary late game carry?
Oh yeah, 100%. The same way they itemized against PL in the last game with, I don't know, Shivas and Radiance. You itemize with Silver Edge, AC, armor items versus PA, and it looks like that's exactly what 23savage is skewing.
Jumping in, Tino. You mentioned wanting to fight with his BKB timing. He can't keep tabs of Zephyr though. He goes invis, and that may keep him alive. Whitemon using that Shadow Amulet to save out his buddy here, but Kunkka leashed up in the front lines, not really the best of targets because of that Aegis, and they're going to have to back off with the BKB of Tino wearing off, and pulled back in is the Rubik. Astral and a hammer. No real escape for him. Dishes out some good damage before going down, but Boom can't find a good fight for themselves.
I feel like he's the one that used the imprisonment on the Batrider, keeping him away from lassoing the PA, which rescued her. So Tim's, even though it feels like perhaps he doesn't have as much impact because he's dying, it's usually sacrificial, so he saves the core.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
We might try to go here on the Opage and scan, but
yeah. They've got a TP on their PA, but for now PA is going to continue farming down bottom, and Boom don't make any kind of aggressive move out to defend their top tier 1 tower.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on
she didn't
board.
have a BKB anyway, right? And moved down bottom to continue farming, but there's a Silver Edge completed on Savage.
The hunt is on. They found Beastmaster. 23savage with that Shadow Blade. Gets the X out, gets roared, but FBZ nonetheless will be pulled back in, roar or no roar.
Dire's structures are fortified.
The devil to pay.
I feel that T1 are doing everything right at the moment.
Yeah.
Like they're playing the game exactly how they should be. Top lane Tim's lassoed.
They're just playing the entire map, getting kills wherever they can, and he's even dropping items in front of him. Carl is feeling himself.
Is it mental of intelligence though?
He's not quite elevated himself to that level of BM yet, but perhaps the silver line for Boom is their first kill in quite some time. Scam, well, it's been a rough one for him. 0 and 8, about to become 0 and 9.
Deep six.
As this poor Grimstroke just doesn't have an answer for these heroes that just keep jumping on top of him.
Yeah, that first game definitely looked much better for Boom, and I feel that the strategy in which they're the ones aggressing, they're the ones that are constantly making moves, fits them way better than this one in which they have to wait for their carry to come online to start making things happen. And Tino is only 300 gold away from that Dezo, so that has to be the point in which you start fighting back.
This feels really hard when you look at all these defensive tools on the T1 side, plus all these ways to pierce through the BKB. They've got Overgrowth and Lasso, and then they've got the saves from the Astrals. It's like this PA is going to have to rely also, on his teammates to actually control some of these heroes.
And the Silver Edge now is there as well. I feel that both of these teams do have what it takes to take a solid team fight. It's all about who starts the fight a little bit better. Like perhaps Storm Inkswell jumping the OD would be a good way to start it. Just preventing Cuckoo from using all those imprisonments, right? Like, also, do you have BKB? You don't have a BKB on your part, so that's an additional problem. That Overgrowth can just completely destroy you.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
See if he can farm his way up to it before the next fight breaks out. Potential Roshan in 2 minutes time, sometime after that. And so last time T1 happy to kind of play around that and also actively use smokes to kind of secure that vision around the pit. They smoke up now. See if they look to hunt down some of these Boom heroes and make their presence known in this top lane. It looks like 23savage, as per usual, leading the charge. Invised up, looking for that catch. They see someone else. I think they figure out where Tino is. They're pinging him. Where this PA might be.
Gold from
They're fishing. They're going to go for the D ward first. The PA will manage to use that blur effectively to not get caught, though.
Yeah, very important for him to keep as many BKB charges as possible at this point. Like the first one that he used didn't really let him a kill.
Going for a CM, but this is no ordinary CM. Raindrops, Glimmer Cape. And now the Frostbite into Freezing Field. Can they bring down this Storm with a Ghost Ship and an Overgrowth? You betcha. Gem will also not be able to TP out. The Frostbite is there to cancel it. And it's
Carl.
bottom lane where Carl's even finding a kill.
Yeah, he's going for more. Kunkka is there with the blink dagger. Can he? Nah, that's just a boar. But
Oh, 23savage may
Tower
catch
is under
Tino.
attack.
Ooh, that was close. He was casting X when Tino blinked to the high ground.
Step lively now. Your admiral
that
is
was
on board.
almost a catch on the PA as well. If you're tier 1 at the moment, I think you take over the triangle, you wait for that Roshan to respawn, you've pretty much taken almost every
Radiant's
single
middle tower
tier 2
is under
tower,
attack.
and you just cut waves, right? Like every single tier 2 tower. They took one, like out of 3. Good logic from me, but yeah.
As long as you got one, that's all you need.
Yeah. A little bit of hyperbole there. No one's gonna notice.
So, what do you see is like for Boom? You mean they've got the tools maybe to take a fight, they execute well. Do they need to go on the aggressive, or is it more like sit back and turtle it up?
I feel that at the moment, that's the only thing that they can do, because they don't have the BKB on Storm. And this is the problem with these kind of drafts, right? Mid lane, Kunkka, he's going in.
Dodging in, they throw out the roll. Have they got the damage for this one? There's a living armor blocking a lot of this damage coming in. The defensive Astral comes from Cuckoo. Took a while to be there, but it's going to keep the Kunkka alive, who now gets a chance to BKB out of the Astral. Catches the Rubik with an X into a Ghost Ship, and with the cleave on through, 23savage is going to eat the supports alive, including FBZ, who's not actually a support, even though he looked like one. Skem's Grimstroke doesn't stand a chance as they've caught one more. Astral into Meteor. It's the PA. Tino in some trouble. The Overgrowth's going to go into 2 here, but the Astral did get the Storm here, but the Sanity's Eclipse, they blow up. Tino's PA, and all Storm can do is zip back to his fountain. Boom just getting overrun and overwhelmed by T1.
Yeah, 23savage, he just literally ran uphill.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
He was in the middle of 4 heroes and they still couldn't take him down.
Radiant's middle tower
Partly due
is
to
under attack.
Cuckoo just being on spot with the Astral imprisonment, but also partly with the fact that Boom just cannot fight at this point. Okay. You always need one more item, and that's what makes it kind of bad playing in a draft such as this one, in which, yeah, PA needs that BKB Battle Fury, but once she gets that, suddenly you're not strong enough anyway, because you're 17k behind. Your carry was never joining the fights, he couldn't contribute. It was all on Yopaj, and now he needs that one item. So,
Yeah, the damned if you do, damned if you don't. Have to go for the defensive items to stay alive, but then you lack the damage to kill this tanky front line. Particularly when they've got all these saves here, and well, this front line is now going to consist of a Carl Bat with an Octarine Core finding another pick-off. Boom supports, miserable time for them. They've got 19 deaths between the two of them and just unable to find a way to impact this mid-game.
now, if you're Grimstroke and Rubik, how do you itemize in this game? A Blink Dagger, it's not gonna help you versus X marks the spot, and if you just show yourself a little bit in the lane, you know that there could be a Silver Edge X or a Bat Rider jumping on you, lassoing you, which is what has been happening, so
Radiant's
a hard
top
game
tower
for them,
is under
really.
attack. Dire are scanning.
So
Itemization, that's just not a word that Skep knows right now. He's got Tranquil Boots.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a nice play that they're attempting to do on
Radiant's top
bottom
tower is under
with
attack.
FBZ, like
Dire's structures are
Bat Rider.
fortified.
I think they know that. Dire scanned it. They seem to have an idea of what's going on. Yeah, they're going to go hunting for these heroes. Bat Rider will cancel his TP and... one
Anyone
shot
else?
it almost.
Zephyr, he
boy.
catches 2.
FBZ going to be the first to fall. Storm trying to get away, using up a lot of his mana. He'll get back to base safely.
Like it looked like a decent plan from Boom. Let's hide the Beastmaster in the trees, but push out with boars and axes, so they go to hunt Beast, right? You know that he's somewhere in the trees. Meanwhile, we're gonna smoke around him and make that next level bait. Sadly, like everyone just starts TPing with travels, and you can't even get one pick off.
Boom going to find themselves in a very unfamiliar position. They're back up against a wall. Even just dropping, they were yet to drop a game in the DPC before this series. There, he's gone. You're going to lose the OD. That's the save. Okay, nice find. Unfortunately for Boom, they're still like, they're not strong enough that they can then like turn this 5v4 into a follow-up fight. They don't want to fight into this double damage Kunkka. but it's still a kill nonetheless.
Bounty!
Yeah, I feel like this kind of a kill prevents T1 from pushing any further, and it delays the game a little bit. And this is exactly what they need to be doing. This OD needs to be the first one that you kill. If you can kill the OD, I believe that at least you have a shot at taking a fight. If you don't kill him, you're just gonna get run over. Maybe you get run over anyway, but yeah.
Savage
Skem?
going mid. He's found poor Skem on the Grimstroke. This is the X-Torrent combo. I think he was a bit unsure about initiating in. He does realize there's more than meets the eye to this boom presence in the mid lane. They're going once again. It's Charles Batrider. Doesn't get a chance to get out of there. Instantly buys back. They want to punish this one. Tino's already committed his BKB, so he just wants out. FPZ's Beastmaster, well, he's on the front lines, and he's the sacrifice to make sure that they can kind of cut their losses. Gem, well, familiar sight for him. Going to get picked off in the top river, but elsewhere it is Tim's on the Rubik. The support's just... Yeah, tough lane. Tough game.
It even looked good, right, for Boom. First they got the OD, then they got the Batrider as well. It didn't look that bad. They started making some decent moves, but when you're this far behind, 20k, 34 minutes in,
Radiant's
it's just
bottom
so
tower
difficult
is
to
under
do
attack.
any kind of a play without getting punished.
Tower is under attack.
This feels like they can do these like cute pick and run kind of plays, like Storm cutting his waves, but end of the day, how do you address this 23savage Kunkka? And it feels like the answer is just a resounding no, you can't address him. There is no way with how far ahead he is.
Are under attack.
Yeah, at this point, exactly, no way. Do you think that this Aghanim's and PA might change things? I don't really feel that way as well.
Yeah, it's often been the go-to. All these SEA players love to play PA and go for this Ags build, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be... It might be just be a rapier game or something, Lizard.
Yeah, I would rather even see that, you know, get that one item that completely changes. It's a risky one, but it changes your win condition, and suddenly you can kill anyone. Still though, I have faith in Boom if they are able to pick off the OD at this time.
Lively now. Your
And
admiral is
OD
on
could
board.
change that by buying something like Aeon this. Okay? Once again.
Welcome back.
Not much he can do to get out, and every time it feels like he's getting caught, everyone's like, let's run the other way. It's very indicative of where this game stands, that Skem gets caught out, and every other Boom hero is like, let's run the other side of the map, because we now know where T1 are, so we can go farm elsewhere.
But it looks like Carl knows where they are as well.
Dyer's top
Or
tower
maybe not.
is under attack.
An idea, but he's just going to go farm up some jungle camps, it seems.
Yeah, he tried to scout out the Beastmaster,
Dyer's
but
top tower
was
is under
unable.
attack.
Support T1 supports. They don't even get to use the Philosopher's Stone. This Batrider, you know, saying, that's mine.
You know it's bad when when you're winning this hard, like 24k ahead,
Step
and
lively
you're not
now.
even
Your
given the
admiral is on
Philosopher's
board.
Stone. Really puts you in your place as a support player, you know? Like,
Dyer's
come
top
on, man.
tower has
Do
been
I even
denied.
matter? What's happening?
It's like, there's a hierarchy. Like, you know, you're a C. When it comes to, like, support, CM is on, like, the bottom of the hierarchy, even within the supports, you know? No one wants to give that, like, 280 movement speed low-ass CM any love, unfortunately.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of the same with the Treant, right? Hey, why do you need it? Bro, just go AFK in the fountain, spam your living armor. we don't truly need you.
Yeah, they've got these heroes, the Arcane Aura and the Living Armor, you know, that's passive supports. Carl and 23savage, like, you know, we've got this.
Radiant are
See
scanning.
what the next play is going to be. Potential Roshan in a minute and a half's time.
Is there anything big coming from Boom that could change? That Aghanims is completed, but that's pretty much it. Everyone else has had the same items for the longest time now on the side of Boom. So yeah, they truly need to find the right angle, and this smoke, I'm not sure. I feel like that's what they're drawing. They're running into the enemy triangle. They're hoping for perhaps some weird pick-off. Even this tier 1 mid hasn't fallen, right? Like, you have this tier 1 tower on the mid lane, and you can't smoke through there as well into the dire jungle.
And perhaps tipping off this move is the fact there's a mid creep wave at their base that's being ignored. So at some point T1 are going to see this and think, huh, you know, something fishy's going on. Let's you know, let's play it safe. Let's make sure we're grouped up and not getting picked off, because Boom would love to find any kills they can get to get themselves back into this game.
They are spotting them with the Hawks, so that's kind of neat. You do know where Boom is, and Boom does know where T1 are, so... Jopaj
Jump in from the storm. They found the OD. You mentioned he's the biggest target. The 2-hero Ink Swirl. They stun them up both up, and with the Roar, they get the kills. But a Torrent onto 3 with a Ghost Ship follow-up. 23savage is trying to turn this one around with the Overgrowth locking down the storm. He's got it. He wants Tino next, but Tino with his BKB has finished off the backlines. Going for the TP out, but oh, he's been X. Brought back in, and the Torrent is there. Carl making sure they get the kill. They can salvage the gem on the T1 side. It's a 3-4 trade in T1's favor, but all the big Boom heroes going down, and they don't touch Carl, they don't touch 23savage.
Yeah, and the OD didn't even buy back. Like, I actually expected him I expected him to lose that fight anyway, because first they're 24-5k behind, and also they're fighting under a tier 1 tower. So killing off the OD is good, but killing him under his own objective isn't that great. He can just buy back, TP in. Yeah. And they win the fight even without him buying back, so...
Carl, Mr. Please Tip Me, has thrown out the tips at Yopaj, laying out the challenge. He may have been solo killed by this Storm in lane, but I think he has a pretty good idea of where he thinks this game is headed, and a Rax advantage going T1's way, and after that buyback from Yopaj where he doesn't connect and find any kills, Boom are going to be feeling like there's just so little they can do here.
Yeah, there is, what, 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining before Rush respawns. And that last Rush should most likely be our... either the last fight, or if they give Aegis and everything to T1, I really don't see the way they come back any longer. Even right now, it's difficult. Man, this Kunkka is a beast. Just look at his items.
There's something to be said, like Boom as a newer team, they just haven't been in a position where they've had to come back too many times. They did have that one grand final before the DPC, which was a 3-2 reverse sweep, where they, you know, had their back put against the wall a bit, but this is a different kind of story when you're up against a TI caliber team in T1. Things just going from bad to worse. Pick off after pick off. T1, 30k gold lead almost. And Roshan respawning in less than a minute.
Less than a minute for Rosh. Zephyr is gonna plant his 3 inside the pit, just wait it out. Also, they're killing off all the Hawks that FBZ is sending that way. It just feels so bad to be FBZ. Click on it. Like, if you check his items out, he has this Blink Dagger and the Helm of Overlord. For what? How many minutes? 20 minutes now? You finish that off and that's it. You don't really need a lot more as a Beastmaster, but still.
Yeah, it's kind of, you're meant to hit your power spike and make some plays though, and it feels like that just hasn't happened for Boom. They haven't managed to find any good timings to take fights. They're hoping this is one. Maybe the surprise factor, smoking on up, testing a Roshan, but we've seen time and time again, it feels like T1 always are ready for these moves.
Yeah, Carl is in front, but he does have Invaker Flicker as well. Let's see.
Carl. Yep. Storm, Yopaj. Trying to see what he can find there, but it's 23savage who gets himself a double damager, and he just walks right into the Roshan pit. This is very much like lay out the challenge. Come and stop us. What are you going to do, Boom?
I think the moment you scout out that double damage room, you're playing into a Kunkka. Like, no, I'm going back. Meanwhile, FBZ, he's got...
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Thought. And they give the Aegis to OD. I mean, we've seen every single fight they want to start on the OD. It seems to make sense giving him an Aegis with how farmed 23savage is.
Yeah, I completely agree. How do you kill? Like, if you don't kill the OD, he's going to save the target that you go on. So right now you can't even... Well, you can kill the OD, but he will respawn and then take the fight after. So,
even has the Ascetics cap to go with it. Storm just cutting waves here in the mid lane.
How did you
doing what
pronounce
he
it?
can.
Radiant's middle
Skating?
barracks are under attack.
I don't know. Aesthetic.
I'm learning as well.
So I don't even know what that word means, you know. I'm a college dropout here. So I'm playing video games.
Hey, I'm the same. Just trying to learn here.
Has fallen.
I'm learning how to play a mean-ass Kunkka right now because 23savage is just having his way with Boom. 13, 0, and 12. Cleaving through him. Critting through him. He is just dominating.
And he just has to stand up front. If you go on him, he has that Satanic to work with to heal up. If he doesn't have Satanic, he has the cheese to work with. Yopad goes in.
Yep, fall in with the ink swap. Yopad, they take out the OD once. Can they kill OD a second time? That's a big if as the supports are dropping and dropping fast. PA on the front lines doesn't have a BKB anymore, so she's just going to turn and fight with the CM route. And sending the clip, she gets brought down. Tino almost on his own, trying to defend here.
Thrown in again.
All the farm in the world may not be enough, but Yopaj with this Aghanim Scepter pulling in multiple heroes, but the damage just isn't there, and TA without a BKB just can't re-engage. Skems died back. 0-17 on him, unfortunately, and it's Boom
Radiant's top barracks
who are being bested here.
Radiant's top barracks are
T1
under-
just
Radiant's top
unkillable, and
barracks
it's got to be just a matter of seconds now, I feel like, until those two letters come out. One last go chip for good measure. Tino gets caught in this one, and there's the Beyond Godlike streak once more. 23savage getting kill after kill. Flamebreak going to push back Tim's in the middle of this one, and T1 going to be taking this one to the bank to cash this check. Unless Yopaj has something to say about it, he gets a nice 4-hero Electric Vortex, but I don't think that's enough. Not with FBV going down in the front lines. They are not giving up. They're buying back. They're doing everything they can. They're down mega creeps. They're down 40k gold, but they're making every last bit count. The OD even keeping himself alive on a sliver of health there with that Aghanims. And he gets back to safety. T1 settling, saying, okay, they want to defend. We'll play it safe too. We don't have to end this game now if you won't let us.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, they do have that X marks the spot to work with, so you can TP base, heal up, come back in. That's what they did. I think now it's a bit more safer to just go and close it out.
Giving T1 a chance, a bit more stat padding perhaps with these kills. Bat right on the front lines gets bailed out by the Cuckoo Astral once again, time and time again. Cuckoo is just there to make these saves. 23savage says enough is enough. He's just hitting the throne, not even going for these kills, although Carl has other ideas. He's found the Blink Lasso, it's onto the Rubik. Now making it into a 3 versus 5. Another 3-man Vortex support from FBZ. Gets off a roar, gets the Bat Runner low. Can they finish off this kill? But he gets the heals away. The Wind Waker into the defensive Astral. They get the throne, and they don't even lose any hero.